Alright, Phantom Menace, the Acolyte in the books. Time to move on to Attack of the Clones. I don't really have much of a pregame going into this, not much to say. I think it's just best to get directly into it and give my direct thoughts as we go through. And once again, gotta love a proper introduction for this franchise. So kind of like with the Phantom Menace, I'm gonna go through some interesting facts and production things. I don't have anything to say about what's going on the screen. I will jump into that. Once again, diving directly into what's about to happen. A seamless transition into one of the cleanest shots. I swear to God, the intro for this movie is stunning. Looks immaculate still. So Attack of the Clones was one of the first major motion picture shot entirely on high-definition digital video rather than traditional film. Absolutely groundbreaking technology for its time, and a groundbreaking film for its time as well.
We made it.
I actually never noticed that, but when the main royal cruiser blows up, some debris flies off to the side and knocks one of the starfighters, the Naboo starfighters, off the platform.
I failed you, Senator.
No,
You're still in danger here.
I shouldn't have come back.
You did your duty. Corday did hers. Now come. Senator Amidala, please.
I don't know how much longer I can hold off the Verg, my friends. More and more star systems are joining the Separatists.
I think the more I see Ki-Adi-Mundi on screen, the more it actually pisses me off that he knows for a fact.
You must realize there aren't enough Jedi to protect the Republic.
Master Yoda, do you think it will really come to war?
The dark side clouds everything.
The guy sitting directly beside you, Yoda, is conspiring against you and has been for years now. Not Mace Windu, but Ki-Adi-Mundi. It's insane. They wrote his character, Leslie Headland wrote his character to be 10 times worse than he truly was.
Senator Amidala, your tragedy on the landing platform, terrible. Seeing you alive.
So I will admit there is a upgrade in the 3D rendering of characters like Yoda or Jar Jar. Didn't age the best in this movie either, but definitely looks better than the Phantom Menace, that's for sure. A little cleaner, a little neater. Feels a little more appropriate to the frames and the scenes. Also like to point out that Yoda was actually a puppet in the Phantom Menace at first, and then they made him, in I think 2011, 2012, they rendered him into a full CGI figure in the Phantom Menace, but in this movie specifically, Yoda went digital for the first time fully.
Placed under the protection of your graces.
You really think that's a wise decision under these stressful times?
Chancellor, if I may comment, I do not believe
The situation is that serious. No, but I do, Senator. I realize all too well that additional security might be disruptive for you. Perhaps someone you're familiar with. An old friend, like Master Kenobi.
That's possible. He's just returned from a border dispute on Ancion.
Do it for me, milady, please. The thought of losing you is unbearable.
Oh, that is such horse shit. Hayden Christensen's first appearance as Anakin.
Not at all. I haven't felt you this tense since we fell into that nest of Gundarks.
You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued you, remember?
Yes. You're sweating. Relax.
I haven't seen her in 10 years, Master.
Yeah. It's a bit... He's looking a bit awkward there, walking around. A bit floaty.
Good to see you again, Jar Jar.
This is his only scene, too. He gets, like, 2 scenes in the entire movie.
He's a Jedi, right?
It was not loved after the first one.
It's a great pleasure to see you again, my lady.
It has been far too long, Master Kenobi. Annie? My goodness, you've grown.
All of you grown more beautiful, I mean. Well,
Actually, I think I could see the green screen bleeding into Natalie Portman's hair.
Annie, you'll always be that little boy I knew on Tatooine.
Our presence here will be invisible, my lady, I can assure you.
Queen Jamila has been informed of your assignment. I am grateful you're here, Master Kenobi. The situation is more dangerous than the Senator will admit.
I don't need more security, I need answer. I want to know who's trying to kill me.
We're here to protect you, sir, not to start an investigation.
We will find out who's trying to kill you, Padme. I promise you.
We will not exceed our mandate, my young Padawan learner.
I meant it in the interest of protecting her, Master, of course.
We will not go through this exercise again, Anakin, and you will pay attention to my lead.
Why?
What?
Why else do you think we were assigned to her if not to find the killer? Detection is a job for local security, not Jedi.
We will do exactly as the Council has instructed.
I remember that scene being a lot more awkward the first few times I watched it, but I feel like it makes more sense now.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I will retire.
I'll have an officer stationed on every floor, and I'll be in the control center downstairs.
Mr. Bustin' with happiness seeing you again, Annie.
She hardly even recognized me, Jar Jar. I've thought about her every day since we've parted, and
I don't think Jar Jar's the guy you should be going to for relationship advice, but hey, what do I know? Coach doesn't play, right?
Was pleased to see us. Now, let's check the security.
So one thing I love about this movie is that it actually gives you a further look into Coruscant. The deep, grimy aspects of Coruscant. How it's supposed to be represented as this clean, high-class city, but when you really break it down and you scratch past the surface, a scuzz hole of crime and villainy.
I don't like just waiting here for something to happen.
Such an interesting planet. It could do so much just with this planet alone. It could have its own entire series. That's how in-depth Coruscant is.
To warn us if there is an intruder.
There are many other ways to kill a senator.
We also want to catch this assassin, don't we, Master?
You're using her as bait.
It's her idea. Don't worry, no harm will come to her. I can sense everything going on in that room.
It's too risky. Besides, your senses aren't that attuned to my young apprentice.
And yours are.
Possibly.
I would even argue that he is the chosen one. I would say his senses are probably more attuned than anybody's.
I don't sleep well anymore.
Because of your mother.
Your mother?
I don't know why I keep dreaming about her.
Dreams pass in time.
I'd much rather dream about Padme. Just being around her again is intoxicating.
Oh, that's all you end up doing later in life. All you do is have nightmares about her.
Jedi Order, a commitment not easily broken. And don't forget, she's a politician and they're not to be trusted.
Ah, those dirty politicians. Not to be trusted. You know, for somebody as a high-ranking official as Padme, you think better security than just R2 in her room would be something that you would consider, but I know you got Obi-Wan and Anakin out there, but the fact that the glass, when it was cut, didn't activate some sort of alarm or anything like that.
I think he's a good man.
I sense it too.
I always found that absolutely wild. Obi-Wan's supposed to be like the cool, calculated one who doesn't take the insane risk, and he just dives out the window headfirst. I love the chase music too. I don't think it's actually Sloboba, but the same race. You gotta love the fact that Palpatine hires Count Dooku to kill Padme. But Count Dooku, he's more of an intelligent guy who doesn't want to get his hands dirty. So he hires a bounty hunter. He hires Jango Fett. Jango Fett, not wanting to get directly involved in that, hires Zam Wessel to take out Padme. Zam Wessel then gets those alien centipedes and hires a droid to take out Padme.
What took us so long?
Each and every individual, not wanting to be directly involved, just hires another person to do it.
Spent as much time practicing your saber techniques as you do your witch, you would rival Master Yoda as a swordsman.
I love the sound effects of these speeders too.
Pull up, Anakin. You know I don't like it when you do that.
Sorry, Master. I forgot you don't like flying.
I don't mind flying, but what you're doing is suicide. Stay away from hard couplings.
Some of these shots actually don't look bad. Some of them aren't the greatest looking. Obi-Wan and Anakin, you could see a bit of the green screen bleeding in, but I mean, 23 years old, man. Doesn't look bad for the most part.
Well, you've lost him.
I'm deeply sorry, Master.
A funny little fact here, to avoid leaks during production of this movie,
Once again, you've proved
If you'll excuse me.
I hate it when he does that.
the movie operated under the working title of Jar Jar's Big Adventure. Bit of a joke to help avoid leaks of the movie. I love the attention to detail, too. It feels like not one area of this city on Coruscant is empty or not used.
Sorry, Master.
You went in there to hide, not to run. Next time, try not to lose it.
Yes, Master.
This weapon is your life.
I try, Master. Why do I get the feeling you're going...
The size difference of the lightsabers, too. I didn't point this out from the Phantom Menace, but they're a proper size that actually feels like would work in the hands of somebody trying to use it, whereas the Acolyte looked like they were struggling to hold on to them because they were so large. So out of proportion, it looked goofy, too.
Where are you going, Master? For a drink?
I love the in-depth world building here, too. You have the sports games, you have all the different advertisements, different races of aliens. This is what makes Star Wars Star Wars. This is what makes it so unique and interesting. It doesn't try and recreate today's world in a galaxy far, far away.
Jedi business. Go back to your drinks.
Do you know who it was you were trying to kill?
It was a senator from Naboo.
And who hired you?
It's just a job.
Who hired you? Tell us.
Tell us now!
It was a bounty hunter called...
The funniest part about all of it, too, Jango Fett watching over.
Toxic dart.
Track down this bounty hunter, you must.
Most importantly, find out who he's working for.
What about Senator Amidala? She will still need protecting.
Handle that. Your Padawan will. Until caught, this killer is our judgment she must respect.
Go to the Senate and ask Chancellor Palpatine to speak with her about this matter.
I will talk with her. Senator Amidala will not refuse an executive order. And so, they've finally given you an assignment. Your patience has paid off.
Your guidance more than my patience.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. In time, you will learn to trust your feeling. Then you will be invincible. I have said it many times. You are the most gifted Jedi I have ever met. I see you becoming the greatest of all Jedi, Anakin.
Wonder how he could foresee such things. Makes you wonder. The
Council is confident in its decision, Obi-Wan.
The boy has exceptional skill.
This is a really weird shot. Like, almost very uncanny feeling.
Remember, Obi-Wan, if the prophecy is true, your apprentice is the only one who can bring the Force back into balance.
It will be your responsibility to take my place in the Senate. Representative Binks?
This is literally the worst thing she could have ever done. Allowing Jar Jar Binks to be her representative.
I do not like this idea of hiding.
Now that the Council has ordered an investigation, it won't take Master Obi-Wan long to find this bounty hunter. Sometimes we must let go of our pride and do what is requested of us.
Anakin, you've grown up.
Master Obi-Wan manages not to see it. Don't get me wrong, Obi-Wan is a great mentor. Wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Windu. I am truly thankful to be his apprentice. In some ways, a lot of ways, I'm really ahead of him. I'm ready for the trials, but he feels that I'm too unpredictable. He won't let me move on.
Be frustrated.
It's worse. He's overly critical. He never listens. He doesn't understand. It's not fair.
A lot of people hate on Hayden Christensen for his performance here as Anakin, but I feel like he portrays a very good Anakin. The emotion, the confusion.
But I am grown up. You said it yourself.
Please don't look at me like that.
And you could argue that a lot of the performance he gave was directed solely based off of Lucas. Lucas told him to be like that. Anakin's a very conflicted character at the end of the day.
Be safe, my lady.
Thank you, Captain. Take good care of Dorme.
He'll be safe with me.
He'll be fine.
It's not me, my lady. I worry about you.
And my Jedi protector will have to prove how good he is.
Don't do anything without first consulting either myself or the Council.
Yes, Master.
I'll get to the bottom of this plot quickly, milady.
Anakin, literally don't do anything.
I'm most grateful for your speed, Master Jedi.
Anakin, may the Force be with you.
Suddenly, I'm afraid.
This is my first assignment on my own. I am too. Don't worry, we have our two with us.
I don't know why the Jedi Council thought putting Anakin on that mission was a good idea. He's like completely out of control most of the time.
Obi-Wan!
I think they would put a more skilled, disciplined Jedi on the assignment, but no.
You want a cup of joe with you?
Buddy! So, my friend, what can I do for you?
You can tell me what this is.
Well, what do you know? I ain't seen one of these since I was prospecting on Sub-Terrell, beyond the Outer Rim.
Poor Dex didn't age very well either, did he?
I wonder why it didn't show up in the analysis archives.
You see funny little cuts on the side that give it away. Those analysis droids only focus on symbol. I should think that you Jedi would have more respect for the difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Well, if droids could think, there'd be none of us here, would there? Kamino, I'm not familiar with it. Is it in the Republic?
No, it's beyond the Outer Rim. 12 parsecs outside the Rishi Main. These are Kaminoans. Keep to themselves. They're cloners.
Cloners? Are they friendly?
Oh, it depends.
Depends on what, Dex?
On how good your manners are. How big your pocketbook is.
Gotta love that. Galactic Republic's got a big pocketbook.
Are you having a problem, Master Kenobi?
In The Phantom Menace, it felt like they had the perfect mesh of practical and digital. It feels like they moved more and more into digital as these movies went on. Just full CGI sets, more blue screen effects, maybe less set design or actual on-location filming.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
It does not exist. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Hey you, no droids. Get out of here.
Gotta love a droid saying, hey you, no droids.
Are you allowed to love? Thought that was forbidden for a Jedi.
Attachment is forbidden. Possession is forbidden. Compassion, which I would define as unconditional love, central to a Jedi's life. So you might say that we are encouraged to love.
You've changed so much.
You haven't changed a bit. You're exactly the way I remember you in my dreams.
It's not the flex you think it is. About half of this movie is a good movie, I would argue. Even then, I think most people really only desire the last 30 or so minutes of the film anyway.
Hello, Master Obi-Wan.
What help can I be?
This is where Yoda roasts Obi-Wan.
I trust him, but the systems don't show in the archive maps.
Lost a planet, Master Obi-Wan has. How embarrassing. Gather round the map reader and find Obi-Wan's wayward planet, we will.
It ought to be... Gravity is pulling all the stars in the area towards this spot.
Gravity's silhouette remains, but the star and all the planets disappeared they have. How can this be?
Because someone erased it from the archive memory.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is. The Padawan is right. Go to the center of gravity's pull and find your planet. Only a Jedi could have erased those files. But who and why? Harder to answer.
I believe at this point in time, Count Dooku would have already left the Order. Yeah, he leaves the Order after Qui-Gon's death, so... Like, the writing's on the wall, man. Who do you think did it? Turns to the leader of the Separatists, erasing archives. Who do you think did it? Come on.
Back on it, I'm not sure I was old enough. I'm not sure I was ready.
The people you serve thought you did a good job. I heard they even tried to amend the Constitution so you could stay in office.
I was relieved when my 2 terms were up.
I think the Republic needs you. I'm glad that you chose to serve.
The Senate votes.
And we're back here to this palace, this absolute masterclass of architecture.
Not if they feel threatened. My guess is they'll turn to the trade federations or the commerce guilds for help.
Newt Gunray is still the viceroy of the Trade Federation.
Newt Gunray, my man.
Is powerless to resolve this crisis.
You gotta love that. They allowed them to invade an entire planet and hold the palace secure, starving the people of the planet, and Newt Gunray and the gang gets let go. The Trade Federation are just still equally as powerful as they were after everything that happened in the first movie.
There's some places up there that are very isolated.
Excuse me, I'm in charge of security here, milady.
And this is my home. I know it very well. That is why we're here. I think it would be wise if you took advantage of my knowledge in this instance.
Sorry, milady.
I love that design of the Jedi Starfighter and the hyperspace ring. Absolutely love it. Such a cool idea. Starfighters can't travel on their own and they need that extra support with the ring. I just thought that was a really cool idea. I also always liked the design of Kamino. Thought it was a really interesting planet. The Kaminoans were forced to evolve to that, actually. I believe the planet wasn't fully water. And then they built these massive cities and adapted to the way the planet shifted and changed. I also like that Obi-Wan completely plays along here. He acts like he knows absolutely everything.
And this is Master Jedi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I trust you're going to enjoy your stay. And now to business. You will be delighted to hear that we are On schedule. 200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way.
That's good news.
Please tell your master, Cypher Diaz, that his order will be met.
I'm sorry, Master...
Jedi Master Cypher Diaz is still a leading member of the Jedi Council, is he not?
Master Cypher Diaz was killed almost 10 years ago.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but I'm sure he would have been proud of the army we've built for him.
The army?
Yes, the clone army. And I must say, one of the finest we've ever created. This army is for the Republic. But you must be anxious to inspect the units for yourself.
That's why I'm here.
We used to come here for school retreat. We would swim to that island.
One of the greatest lines of all time is about to happen.
We used to lie out on the sand and let the sun dry us, and try to guess the names of the birds singing.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere. Not like here.
Pickup line 101. I really don't know what the Jedi Council thought was gonna happen. They really think Anakin was gonna do any protecting on this little vacation of theirs?
No, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry.
Definitely not a great scene. Definitely not a great scene. Oh man. Attack of the Clones. What a fucking movie. This reminds me so much of Republic Commando.
You mentioned
going through the stages of a clone trooper.
They are totally obedient, taking any order without question.
And who was the original host?
A bounty hunter called Jango Fett.
And where is this bounty hunter now?
Oh, we keep him here.
So apparently during reshoots, Ewan McGregor had to wear a fake beard because he had already shaved after finishing the main filming. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. And I would argue that when we get into the Ahsoka show, you see what a real live-action clone trooper looks like versus the CGI one. And I would say the CGI one blows the real-life practical one out of the water. Or at least the costumes they used in Ahsoka looked very cheap. They just didn't look like soldiers. They looked like they were wearing plastic. Plus, you could animate the clone troopers to act like real soldiers opposed to people just in suits running around.
He went on to become an artist.
Maybe he was the smart one.
You really don't like politicians, do you?
I don't think most people do.
But I'm not really sure about one of them. I don't think the system works.
How would you have it work?
We need a system where the politicians sit down and discuss the problem, agree what's in the best interest of all the people, and then do it.
That's exactly what we do. The trouble is that people don't always agree.
Well, then they should be made to.
By whom? Who's gonna make them?
I don't know. Someone.
You?
Of course not me.
But someone.
Someone wise.
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
Well, if it works.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'd be much too frightened to tease a senator.
My god, that did not age well. Ooh, that looks rough. The fuck are the physics of those animals anyway?
Annie, are you alright?
What did the Jedi Council, what did they actually think was gonna happen here?
Is your father here?
Yep.
May we see him?
Sure. Dad, Tatooine's here.
Find it hard to believe that Obi-Wan would not look in that open closet or whatever that room is off to the side where his armor is literally sitting.
Your clones are very impressive. You must be very proud.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
Ever made your way as far into the interior as Coruscant?
Once or twice.
Recently?
Possibly.
Then you must know Master Cypher Diaz.
Baba, Ruded Sohi. Master who?
Cypher Diaz. Is he not the Jedi who hired you for this job?
Never heard of him. I was recruited by a man called Tyrannus on one of the moons of Bogdan. Do you like your army?
I look forward to seeing them in action.
You gotta love the tension in this scene. Obi-Wan quite obviously knows, but he can't take any action yet.
What is it, Dad?
Pack your things. We're leaving.
Oh no, the cursed dinner scene.
Aggressive negotiations, thank you.
Aggressive negotiations, what's that?
Well, negotiations with a lightsaber.
Like, I really don't think that needed to be there.
From the moment I met you, all those years ago, not a day has gone by when I even thought of you. And now that I'm with you again, I'm in agony. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you. I can't breathe. My heart is beating, hoping that that kiss will not become a scar. You are in my very soul. I will do anything that you
You know, it's not great, but it's definitely better than the Acolyte in every way, shape,
You're
or form.
as much as I am. Please tell me.
We can't. It's just not possible.
It's possible, Padme. Listen to me.
No, you listen. You're studying to become a Jedi. I'm a senator. If you follow your thoughts through to conclusion, it'll take us to a place we cannot go.
Then you do feel something.
I will not let you give up your future for me.
You are asking me to be rational. That is something I know I cannot do. Believe me, I wish that I could just wish away my feelings. It wouldn't have to be that way. We could keep it a secret.
We'd be living a lie.
But you do it anyway. You do it for years upon years through the Clone Wars and into Revenge of the Sith.
You're right. It would destroy us.
It really is like the Romeo and Juliet of space, isn't it?
And thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not entirely sure, but that looks like they actually built that. That looks like a real physical starfighter they actually took the time to build.
Successfully made contact with the Prime Minister of Kamino. They are using a bounty hunter named Jango Fett to create a clone army. They say Master Cyber D has placed an order for a clone army at the request of the Senate almost 10 years ago. Did the Council ever authorize the creation of a clone army?
No.
Blind we are. If creation of this clone army we could not see.
I think it is time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
Only the Dark Lord of the Sith knows of our weakness. If informed the Senate is, multiply our adversaries will.
You had another nightmare last night.
Jedi don't have nightmares. I saw my mother. She's suffering, Padme. I saw her as clearly as I see you now. I know I'm disobeying my mandate to protect you, Senator, but I have to go.
Like you've been doing much of that anyway.
I'll go with you.
I'm sorry, I don't have a choice.
That little confrontation there felt weird. I have to go, Senator. I'm sorry. I'll go with you. I'm sorry, I don't have a choice. You want my honest opinion? I solely believe there's no way Obi-Wan survives that.
Oh, not good.
I also believe that they both would have just slid right off. With the constant rain and how slippery that structure looks, I doubt it for a second that they both would have been on there. Even with Jango Fett's blade in his arm, I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. It also takes like all of 2 seconds for Obi-Wan to get right back up to the top of the structure. Can't escape Tatooine. You always end up back here in one way or another.
Mi bosca de Shmi Skywalker.
Milani? You are Annie! It is you! A Jedi! What do you know? Hey, maybe you could help with some deadbeats who owe me a lot of money.
My mother.
Oh, yeah. She's not mine no more. I sold her. Business is business, huh?
I know, I think it's in one of the comic books, or one of the graphic novels. Anakin comes back, he's Vader at that point, right? He's got the full suit and everything. And he comes back and he kills Watto for selling his mother. And obviously, for the way he treated them.
Let's go look at my records, huh?
Love the design of the Slave One ship, it looks great. We get to hear the seismic charges again, here we go.
We'll have a couple of surprises for him.
Ah, here we go!
Seismic charges. Stand by.
Ah, it's so good, man. Fuck, it's so cool. Oh, man.
Blast, this is why I hate flying.
Realistically, he's done. That fire rate of the Slave One is crazy. And Obi-Wan's not known for his piloting, that's for sure. I would argue there's multiple times Obi-Wan should have died here. Not just in the space battle, but on Kamino as well.
There's an unusual concentration of Federation ships over there, R4.
Yeah, that's definitely real, man. This is why it looks so damn good. They took the time to actually build the ship, R4.
Oh, hello.
3PO.
The Maker! I knew you would return. I knew it. Bless my circuits, I'm so pleased to see you both.
Owen Lars, this is my girlfriend, Baru. I guess I'm your stepbrother. I had a feeling you might show up someday.
Is my mother here?
Your mother?
Should go inside. We have a lot to talk about. Your mother had gone out early, like she always did, to pick mushrooms that grow on the evaporators. After I lost my leg, I just couldn't ride anymore. I don't want to give up on her. But she's been gone a month.
To find my mother.
Your mother?
Your mother's dead, son.
Ah, shit. Here we go. I don't think Obi-Wan truly realized, just how deep of a mess he's gotten himself into here. Ah, yes, the droid factory. Another fact, the Geonosis arena battle scenes were filmed on the largest soundstage in the world at the time, located at Fox Studios, Australia.
What about the senator from Naboo? I'm not signing your treaty until I have her head on my desk.
We'll rally to our cause with your support, gentlemen.
The Techno-Union Army is at your disposal, Count.
Their banking clan will sign your treaty.
Our friends from the Trade Federation have pledged their support, which we shall have an army great...
Count Dooku, Christopher Lee, was not utilized enough in these movies. Such a phenomenal actor, such a presence on screen. I wish we would have gotten more live-action Count Dooku in this movie and The Phantom Menace, giving more of his backstory. We did not get enough of him, and that is just my opinion. I think it's a lot of people's opinion when it comes down to Count Dooku and Christopher Lee. A very beloved actor and a very beloved character.
Honey? Oh, you look so handsome. I love...
But if it was Ahsoka, Anakin would just be able to bring Shmi back to whatever medical transport and bring her back to life. Death isn't a thing anymore in new Star Wars. People can't die.
What is it?
The very things Yoda warned everybody about from the very beginning with Anakin.
The transmitter is working, but we're not receiving a return signal.
We can contact Anakin on Naboo. It's much closer.
He's not on Naboo, R4. I do hope nothing's happened to him.
That's Anakin's tracking signal, all right. But it's coming from Tatooine. I told him to stay on Naboo. Anakin? Anakin, do you copy? This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Has been knocked out. Retransmit this message to Coruscant.
Wouldn't R2 be able to do that himself? Retransmit this the signal? Obviously, R2's gonna want Anakin and Padme to see that, but you would think that he would just do it himself. This is where Padme gets the hots for Anakin after killing an entire village of sand people.
Why'd she have to die? Why couldn't I save her? I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I will even learn to stop people from dying. It's all Obi-Wan's fault. I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women.
And the children, too.
Children, too. They're like animals. And I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
It's supposed to be a very, very emotional scene. Very distressing moment for Anakin. But it comes off a bit comedic. Comes off a little bit funny. It's probably partially due to the memes, the I hate them being is completely memed to oblivion.
I wasn't strong enough to save you, Mom. But I promise I won't fail again.
It seems that he is carrying a message from an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Master Annie, does that name mean anything to you?
No, it means absolutely nothing to him.
The Commerce Guilds and the Corporate Alliance have both pledged their armies to Count Dooku and are forming a... Wait.
More happening on Geonosis, I feel, than has been revealed.
They'll never get there in time to save him. They have to come halfway across the galaxy. Annie, are you just gonna sit here and let him die? He's your friend, your mentor.
He's like my father. But you heard Master Windu. He gave me strict orders to stay here.
He gave you strict orders to protect me, and I'm going to help Obi-Wan.
I'm gonna put everybody's life in danger, because that's what I do.
The Senate will never approve the use of clones before the Separatist attack.
Are you sure about that?
If only Senator Amidala were here.
Traitor.
Oh no, my friend. This is a mistake, a terrible mistake. They've gone too far. This is madness. This had nothing to do with me, I assure you. May I ask why a Jedi Knight is all the way out here on Geonosis?
Good question.
A bounty hunter named Jango Fett. Do you know him?
No bounty hunters here that I am aware of.
Well, who can blame them? But he is here, I can assure you.
The Geonosians don't trust anyone. It's actually shocking that they even allow such individuals like Dooku on their planet.
I wish he were still alive. I could use his help right now.
Qui-Gon Jinn would never join you.
Don't be so sure, my young Jedi. He was once my apprentice, just as you were once his. He knew all about the corruption in the Senate, but he would never have gone along with it if he had learned the truth as I have.
The actual truth.
What if I told you that the Republic was now under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith?
The Jedi would be aware of it.
The dark side of the Force has clouded their vision, my friend. Hundreds of senators are now under the influence of a Sith Lord called Darth Sidious.
I like how they're trying to have a serious conversation here. Obi-Wan's rotating one way and Count Dooku's walking around him in circles the other way. Can't even look at each other when they're speaking. Obi-Wan's got to turn his head like all the way around. On top of all of that, Count Dooku literally tells him what is happening, one for one. He literally exposes the entire plot and Obi-Wan just doesn't believe him.
It may be difficult to secure your release.
Misa propose that the Senate give immediately emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor.
And that right there is why she messed up to levels you couldn't imagine. Padme having Jar Jar as a representative is just... oh, not a smart decision.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
I love democracy.
The power you give me, I will lay down when this crisis has abated. And as my first act with this new authority, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
It is done, then. I will take what Jedi we have left and go to Geonosis and help Obi-Wan.
Visit, I will, the cloners on Kamino and see this army they have created for the Republic.
See those columns of steam straight ahead? They're exhaust vents.
Man, this movie's almost over. Absolutely flying through it right now. You watch The Acolyte, you feel every minute of it. You watch one of these movies, it just goes by. A proper story. The characters are consistent.
I've given up trying to argue with you.
My obtuse little friend, if they had needed our help, they would have asked for it.
With an operation like this going on, you'd think the Geonosians would be on top of ships flying in and out of their planet, especially landing directly near their droid factories or major settlement locations, or whatever you want to call them, their major colony areas. This top secret droid factory pumping out hundreds of thousands of battle droids, and they have zero control over their skies.
You know what's out there. Have you no sense at all? Oh, idiot!
The droid factory scene. A lot of this did not age very well at all, and I can sort of explain why it didn't. So apparently the droid factory scene was very last minute. The sequence was added late into production and was entirely digital and featured no physical set. Some of it doesn't look terrible, but a lot of it is a pass with a push.
Goodness. Shut me Machines making machines. Oh, calm down, R2. I almost fell. Chancellor!
Gotta love R2 just casually gonna kill 3PO.
I want to go home.
Trouble.
Oh, I'm so confused.
R2 taking his sweet time, almost gets Padme killed as well.
Obi-Wan's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I can't even, like, defend that entire sequence. There's not much to be desired from that. It did not age well at all. But the Geonosis Arena, on the other hand, looked pretty good. Looking alright there.
You love me? I thought that we had decided not to fall in love.
Yeah, well,
That we
7 seasons of Clone Wars says otherwise.
I was beginning to wonder if you'd got my message.
I retransmitted it just as you had requested, Master. Then we decided to come and rescue you.
Good job.
Love Obi-Wan's humor. Even in the worst of times, he still has it.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Just relax, concentrate.
What about Padme?
She seems to be on top of things.
Fucking Newt Gunray. What a bastard.
She can't do that. Shoot her.
Bad move, Obi-Wan.
This isn't how it's supposed to be. Jungle, finish her off.
Patience, Viceroy, patience, she will die. Master Windu, how pleasant of you to join us.
This party's over.
I love how they appear everywhere. They just show up randomly. Once again, the Geonosians just no security over their skies, the perimeters of their own arena.
We'll see.
Even Count Dooku, he's a former Jedi. Supposed to be able to sense these kind of things. And so it begins. The beginning of the Clone Wars.
My legs aren't moving. I must need maintenance.
It was said that out of the roughly 215 Jedi that went to Geonosis, about 186 of them died. They were not prepared at all. They just threw themselves into the middle of a complete war zone, and a vast majority of them died. Now, there are thousands of Jedi at the Jedi Temple, but you send a strike team of 200 plus Jedi and they all get eliminated for the most part, other than the main core, like Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Aayla Secura, etc., etc. Oh! See ya later. That's supposed to be your perfect clone of the clone army. Mace Windu just strikes him down within seconds.
Dear, I'm terribly sorry about all this.
You call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
Uh-oh. Roger,
Artu, what are you doing here? What are you doing? Oh, stop that! You're going to strain something. My head!
I fucking love that moment. Super Battle Droid just smashing the B1 out of the way.
Is my head on straight?
Master Windu, you have fought gallantly, worthy of recognition in the archives of the Jedi Order.
At least kill Ki-Adi-Mundi. You do us all a favor there.
We will not be hostages to be bartered, Dooku.
Then, I'm sorry, old friend.
Gotta love Dooku. Gives him a way out, but even then, they don't take it. The gang shows up. Pretty damn awesome, man. Like I said earlier, most desired part of this movie is this ending sequence.
If Dooku escapes, rally more systems to his cause, he will.
Aim right above the fuel cells. Good call, my young Padawan.
The Jedi have amassed a huge army. How could the Jedi come up with an army so quickly? We must send all available droids into battle. There are too many.
I have 5 special commando units awaiting your orders, sir.
Attack those Federation stars!
Ah, the 3D zoom. The classic George Lucas zoom.
All forward positions are advancing.
Very good. Very good.
This is not looking good at all.
We must get the starships back into space.
My master will never allow the Republic to get away with this treachery.
I don't think I ever noticed this, but Poggle the Lesser, the Geonosian leader, his cane is, it looks like an entire leg bone. He's like holding on to the hip portion there. I never noticed that before. Another very rough scene of real people entering a 3D asset. Man, that did not look good. Oh my god, that looked really bad! Count Dooku flipping his cape out and hopping onto that speeder. The amount of CGI used in this movie is tenfold compared to Phantom Menace. And it really shows in some parts. Here doesn't look too bad, here looks okay. Looks fine. I'd argue that the clones actually look pretty damn good. 23 years old. A lot of these shots actually don't look really bad, but there are a few that are not desirable.
It's Dooku! Shoot him down!
We're out of rockets, sir.
We're gonna need some help.
There isn't time! Anakin and I can handle this! Put the ship down! Anakin! Don't let your personal feelings get in the way! Lower the ship! I can't take Dooku alone! I need you!
You both can't take Dooku.
I don't care! Put the ship down!
The audio kind of blew out there when Anakin was yelling. Yoda, again, sensing the very thing he said from the beginning in Phantom Menace.
Well done, Commander. Bring me a ship.
As soon as they're off, the ship gets destroyed. Gotta love that. You see a lot of that in the Clone Wars TV show. The main character isn't on a ship, you best bet it's getting destroyed.
We'll take him together.
I'm taking you now.
No, Anakin, no! No!
Oh, Anakin.
As you see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours. Now, back down.
Well, apparently for a lot of the dueling scenes with Christopher Lee, they used a stunt double. Obviously, he was really old, 79 years old. Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, they used the stunt double, and then they digitally superimposed his face onto the double's body.
You in such high esteem.
Because obviously 78-year-old Christopher Lee ain't gonna be doing those spins, and he ain't gonna be doing those actions. Bending back and forth like that with the lightsaber in his hand. I don't think so. Even 8 to 10-ish years later, when filming the Hobbit trilogy, Christopher Lee had issues getting upstairs and stuff like that due to the cloaks he was wearing and the robes he was wearing. But yeah, he's a bit younger here, but he's still an old man. You can actually kind of see when they superimposed his face onto some of those motions. You can see a bit of the 3D digital Christopher Lee. But for that time, it's pretty damn good. Pretty well done, man.
Brave of you, boy. But I would have thought you had learned your lesson.
I am a slow learner.
It's such a cool scene when it gets all dark like that. And I could only imagine Dooku in his prime. Like, he takes on Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then he's able to take on Yoda as well. Like, he's a master duelist.
Master Yoda.
Count.
Dooku in his prime must have been a menace. And finally, we get to see Master Yoda in action.
Powerful you have become, Dooku.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi. Even you.
Much to learn. You still have.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge of the Force.
Fuck, man, Christopher Lee is so good.
A lightsaber.
Like, his line delivery, his voice, his presence, it's just amazing. He just commands the screen at all times.
But well you have, my old Padawan.
This is just the beginning.
I don't know what it is, but something about those ships just did not seem practical at all for a Star Wars movie. The big sail popping out in front of it like that, I don't know if that's just me. Cool, unique, interesting design, I'm not knocking on that or anything, but when it comes to the other ships of Star Wars, that just doesn't seem like a very good one, or one that you would want to be escaping on. Back to the beautiful planet of Coruscant. God, it looks so good. And I love how there's like the almost abandoned industrial sections of Coruscant too. Like, it's not all just a lived-in city. That's where Yaddle dies, isn't it? Yaddle gets crushed by that door and dies. We'll be rewatching that in Tales of the Jedi.
Welcome home, Lord Tyrannus. You have done well.
I have good news for you, my lord. The war has begun.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Everything is going as planned.
Or Count Dooku, literally the biggest pawn in all of Star Wars.
Do you believe what Count Dooku said about Sidious controlling the Senate? It doesn't feel right.
Join the dark side. Dooku has. Lies, deceit. Creating mistrust are his ways now.
Nevertheless, I feel we should keep a closer eye on the Senate.
He one for one literally told you what was going on. Mace Windu earlier in the movie admitted that they lost their ability to use the Force properly.
The shroud of the dark side has fallen. Begun. The Clone War has.
Begun, the Clone War has. I wish we would have gotten more of it in live action. I really do. God damn, dude. It almost reminds me of the scene from Two Towers when Saruman and Grima are looking over the Uruk-hai army. Anakin with his new fancy hand. And that's gonna bring us to the end of Attack of the Clones, another movie in the books. If it was Disney Star Wars, they would have had a last-second joke thrown in there. They can't have one serious moment to save their lives anymore. Alrighty, time for the Attack of the Clones ranking. Starting off in the middle section. The movie has more pros, it goes up in the list. If the movie has more cons, it goes down in the list. This movie, I'm going to be real, didn't age the best in terms of its green screen and CGI. There's a lot of moments throughout that movie where I'm kind of looking at it going, damn. If I had to guess, it must have been the full switch over to digital. It got rid of the grain and a lot of the roughness that real film brings to a shot. But at the end of the day, I don't know, man. When it comes down to a full Star Wars movie, you have the characters, the music, the story. You have something that feels and looks like Star Wars, even though it might not be the best Star Wars, especially in terms of George Lucas. Like I said, the CGI definitely brings it down, but the big battle at the end is pretty enjoyable. Yoda versus Count Dooku, definitely enjoyable. Dialogue is kind of hit and miss. The green screen effects, yeah, like I said, I would argue that half of the story is good. Like, it's good, it's okay. And the other half of the story is kind of just, I don't want to say it drags on. It's definitely a necessary portion to the full overall story, but obviously Padme, Anakin, very, very important. Their relationship and that building through this movie. A couple years ago, I might have dropped this movie down to the mid to meh, top of meh. Some of the scenes that I used to think were kind of, you could skip over them. You wouldn't be missing much. Feel like are more important to the story now. Probably to a 69, 68 rating. I think that is a good spot for Attack of the Clones. Phantom Menace has a slight edge, in my opinion, just because I got a soft spot for it. It would have been higher on the list, but I already took the liberty of knocking it down a few pegs, taking off the rose-tinted glasses. But yeah, I think Attack of the Clones will sit at the top of okay, and that's going to do it for that ranking right there.